Welcome, everybody, to part 2 of Clockers. And we're doing this on True Detective Season 1. Welcome, everyone, to part 2 of our Clockers episode on True Detective Season 1. Quick heads up before we dive in. We just dropped our Training Day episode on the Night Shift podcast, breaking down Denzel, Ethan Hawke, and one of the most iconic performances of the 2000s. Later this week on Stories, we've got a Tom Clancy episode that is coming that's going to dive into his legacy, his impact, and how his work reshaped a lot of the modern thrillers that we see out there in movies and in television and novels. So go check those out when you get a chance. For now, we're back to True Detective. And in part 2, we're diving into how this season was built, the structure, the performances, and the choices that made it feel dangerous in the best possible ways. So if you missed part 1, go back. It sets the foundation for everything that comes next. For now, we're clocking back in. Wow, and we are back from the longest break you've ever seen in your life. We actually had an emergency, so we had to stop the pod when we got going last time, but we're back, baby. And we're talking True Detective Season 1, possibly greatest television show in history. We gave you guys a little background on the story. We gave you the beginnings, the making of it. Now, we're here to tell you how it got made. CK, CB, how we doing?
Actually, I just want to touch back on before the emergency. During the emergency, I actually had time to rewatch this because it was a very extensive emergency.
Very extensive.
And I actually, if I didn't say it before, I'm saying it now. That's no question. It's the best season I've ever watched in my life.
Thank you.
I don't need to watch every season ever made to know that that's true. It's impeccable. There's nothing in it that I would say every single episode is a bang.
It's a banger, dude.
I'm on my third rewatch. I watched it in 2 days, starting on
Hell yeah.
New Year's Eve. And well, okay, so that's 3 days.
Congratulations.
That's 3 days.
I didn't know you rewatched.
Do
Yeah.
you feel
That's amazing. We all rewatched.
That's how I started the new year.
Do you feel more powerful because of this?
I feel the presence of the Yellow King.
I've started actually at work. I've been asked a question. I'm like, yeah, it's this. Like I'm not
You're
doing
trying
it.
Yeah, you're
Like I'm doing it subconsciously. I'm being Rust. Like,
well, I've been
just-
quoting Russ nonstop.
Are you also giving them the Woody Harrelson?
No, I'm not giving him the lip, but I am giving the other thing I'm channeling is the Woody Harrelson just, yeah, boss, yeah. And you just see how he rises up in the ranks just kissing ass. So I'm trying to mix the kissing ass with the confidence of Rust and trying to blend them into one guy like, Rust Hart or Marty Cole.
Good luck.
Pretty much impossible.
Pretty much impossible. Well, this...
I was gonna say.
Oh God!
Sorry. Because I watched it in the summer. It was my second rewatch of this. Watched it in high school, which was over 10 years ago. Watched it this summer, all in 1 week. Thought it was perfect. Now I'm like really breaking it down. I'm starting to find a couple little things I can nitpick about, but I still think it's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's the best season of
It's
television.
not without a couple flaws though.
I mean, everything's got some flaws in it.
Eating at a great restaurant 3 times. The third time, the first time you might go, this is the best joint. You go the third time and you might get a different waiter. You might
Make it a hair.
get a hair. And there's no hair in this food, but it could be delivered differently. Maybe the third time you got the chicken parm.
Well, speaking of hair, we're gonna talk Russ Cole here. Well, the man behind Russ Cole. We're talking McConaughey, so naturally by now everybody knows he plays Russ Cole. This is the beginning portion of the McConaissance that's going on. And many of you probably know, if you are film buffs or, just into the Hollywood scene and people that are really good at their craft, McConaughey for a long time was pegged as this rom-com actor. He has said this famously on podcasts and his book and a lot of stuff, that he didn't want to do that stuff anymore. It's not that he doesn't like playing those characters, but he thought there was more to him than that. He thought he could do more. And so he turned down a bunch of roles, and he was probably out of Hollywood for, 18 months, maybe almost 2 years, to a point where he's like, shit, like maybe that's it for me. But he kept turning down those kinds of roles so that he could pursue things like this. And around this time, he has Dallas Buyers Club, he has Lincoln Lawyer right before this, which is another great film that is on our watch list for the night shift. And there is just a lot to him that has been untapped on film to this point. What's unique about him pursuing this role, he was not approached to play Russ Cole. He was approached to play Marty. He read the script and said, no, I got to be Rust because I need to do monologues and I need to play a guy that I haven't played before. And this guy is it. And I want to deep dive into it. And so he did. He understood this guy, this character, as some like mask. He had a wound that would never heal, the loss of a daughter. And he channeled that emotion into one of the best character performances that has been caught on television. We are fortunate that this was caught on a TV show versus a film. He's great in front of any camera. It doesn't matter how long he's on there. But this gave you more time with him and more time with him in that role. And I think this elevated him to a stature that is pretty untouchable. He is in elite company now that he was not in before. He is in that Leo class. He is in a Denzel class. When you see McConaughey is attached to something, you know that it is going to be worth watching. It might not be a great movie. All these guys have duds here and there, but you know that you're going to watch it and at least give it a chance because he's involved. So I thought that was probably the best thing about this, was getting him involved early, and him flipping the script literally and taking on the role of Rust versus Marty. And he handpicked Woody Harrelson. Those two just happen to be Texas buddies. So, thoughts on Rust?
I'm going to go first here. For me, his progression it's not something everybody gets. To me, I think it's like there's so many good NFL quarterbacks that come out every year. You could name a million of them. There's so many good ones. And most of them, they'll never make the playoffs. Or most of them, they'll get Lamar Jackson, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Even Josh Allen up to this point. They'll get MVPs. They'll get a couple playoff wins. But you're not Hall of Fame. You don't reach the next level until you get a Super Bowl. Not even going there. Like, that's close for Joe Burrow. He didn't win it. When you win it, and he won this is a Super Bowl that he won. Now you're in the Aaron Rodgers class where it's, oh no, he's Hall of Fame. You just need one.
You just need the one.
You just need one, and now you're in the ball game for being considered one of the greatest.
CK.
Yeah, this character is so good that you can detach it from McConaughey's identity. Like, I just think of Russ Cole. I don't even think McConaughey. That's how good it is. And I think it's his magnum opus. It's his best work. I mean, you could argue like Dallas Buyers Club, all that other stuff, but this is so good. It's so iconic, and it's never going to fade from our culture because it's that fucking good.
I think him also insisting on Woody Harrelson being involved in this and playing the partner is huge in this, because if you get the wrong person in that role, let's say, and not to pick on the guy, but let's say you get like a Mark Ruffalo, somebody like that, some guy that could easily play a detective, like just a regular old detective, but not some hard-ass antithesis of Rust. You have to have chemistry with that actor in order to go back and forth with each other the way that they do. So him bringing in Woody to play Marty Hart, that character Marty could have been overshadowed a million different ways. Him bringing him in brings in a friction that is palpable. It brings in two characters that are at odds with each other morally. I mean, they have discussions on religion and all that shit pretty regularly. They also are two very different people. Like Marty knows who he is. I'm sorry. Rust knows who he is. Marty thinks he knows who he is. And then he meets Rust and he's like, Jesus, this guy is what a pain in my ass this guy is. But it's a pain in the ass to him because not only is he different than him and he's a freaking dog with a bone on an investigation, but he's also a guy that's super sure of himself. He knows exactly who he is and what he wants. Marty doesn't. And Marty is off philandering, doing a bunch of other shit because he didn't set out to be a cop. And he set out to play baseball. He set out to do other things. And this all just kind of fell into his lap. And the family that Rust always wanted, that he had for a brief period, Marty does have, but Marty doesn't take advantage of it. And I think that the just those two on screen together work really well. It's not the first time they work together on screen. Like I said, they're both buddies, grew up in Texas and stuff, not together, but both Texas guys. And they go on vacations and stuff together now since this filming. Families hang out together. Like, they are very tight. Putting the wrong guy in that role across from him makes this not work, no matter how good McConaughey is. So I thought that was incredible. And there was also a few people that were in line to potentially play Maggie, but they opted to go with another person that they've worked with before. Again, chemistry. When you have actors that have worked with each other before, it makes it a lot easier to showcase something on screen that looks real.
It's, to me, there's nobody better than Woody that comes straight to my mind, because this is Louisiana. This is good old boy. And correct me if I'm wrong, Louisiana is right next to Texas.
You got it.
So he looks the exact part. Is he blonde
from
hair.
Texas?
Yeah, blonde hair, good old boy, gap tooth, has a little twang. I mean, I can't think of
100% British.
anybody else who could play this role as the good old boy that actually looks like it.
He's also a thick boy, too. He ain't a pushover pussy.
He's exactly what a guy who thinks he's hot shit and he's 40 looks like, especially in Louisiana. He has the cop haircut. And the way he acts and the way he talks, I can't think of any. I mean, can you guys think of anybody else?
No, because he's like kind of the lighter, I don't want to say comic relief, but Rust is so like pessimistic. So Marty has to be the opposite, but he also has his own darkness too. And if you made him too lighthearted, it wouldn't work. And Woody, I want to say about Marty too, because Rust is such an interesting character, and he's a more interesting character than Marty in a lot of ways, and he's more iconic, that overshadows Marty. But the acting, Woody Harrelson's acting is almost as good as McConaughey, if not equal. I mean, it's right up there.
It's up
because
there,
he's playing that part. His character just isn't as interesting as Rust Cole. Rust Cole,
yes.
If you met these two guys, you'd be like, I've never
That's
met a
such a good
person like
point.
Rust Cole before. There's only one Rust Cole. There's other Martys. You've seen this guy before.
Dude, he's playing the part where don't be as good as Rust at acting right now. And he's like, I got it. And he's doing it perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're doing it fucking perfect,
Yes.
dude.
He really played the part perfectly.
He's literally Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan in this. And he's doing it perfect.
He's doing it really well.
You couldn't have LeBron and Michael Jordan. It's not going to work.
No. He does it great. They get Michelle Monaghan to play the season's female lead because, like I said, there was a couple of people that they had kind of been thinking about for this, but the two leads said, really kind of pushed her as well because they'd worked with her before. And they said, I think she should read for this. I think she should be, I think this would be something that she'd be great at. So she read it and was like, kind of, I don't know, not super sure, but after talking with the guys, she felt compelled to play this because of the direction of the plot and like her character's story arc. Because it's not, you think of her in this as, the good wife, but as you learn during the story, she is the good wife until she's not. Then you learn she can be just as vindictive as anybody else could be when pushed to the brink. And to watch somebody go through that channel, it was just an awesome portrayal of, also like gives more color to Marty too.
Yeah.
You kind of get to see and feel all the stuff at home that he's not seeing, that she's just so good at showing on camera, like the disappointment.
Yes.
And like how, like, damn, this guy really is a fucking knucklehead. And he's got everything that most people would really want right in front of him. And even he acknowledges this in later episodes, but can't get it. He can't get out of his own fucking way. And it's a shame, but she does a great job of making that character come to life. Is there anybody else that you could see in these roles? Because I've been thinking about it and thinking of, could younger actors have done this? No, I don't think so. I think you got to have a certain age about you in order to kind of, have the weight of the characters there. They got to have some kind of life experience.
Mm-hmm.
Could there have been other like prestige choices? I don't know. Maybe you could get like a Morgan Freeman type detective in Seven, you know what I mean?
Well,
an older guy like that. But I think these guys bring that regional authenticity to these characters that I think makes it work even better. It's going to be hard to get a New York guy to come down and be a Louisiana detective. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you'd have to add that in.
Yeah, one little tiny detail that Rust has, he's this super intelligent, I don't know if he's like self-educated or went to school. I guess he's mostly self-educated, but there's little moments where he speaks with improper English in the Southern dialect, and it's like he's choosing to do it.
Yep.
So that he can fit in, so that people like trust him and he can get a confession. But he'll say just little tiny Southern phrases. But he's really smart, so he's probably doing it on purpose. But for somebody like McConaughey, that's easy and it sounds authentic because they're from there. If you get somebody else, they have to be really good at adopting an accent.
Yep.
They had better be. Now, the money that's attached to this and some of the viewership stuff always is a fun little side bit for me. The budget for this is really like $4 to $4.5 million per episode, which at first I was like, holy shit, but it's pretty modest by HBO standards. It's not that much. Most of that money goes to time on set. They filmed a lot of this at real locations. So they had real refineries, real churches, real fields, real back roads, all stuff in Louisiana. They were originally aiming to shoot this in Arkansas and flipped it to Louisiana. And I'm so freaking glad that they did that. Louisiana is just a lot better location than Arkansas, especially for a story like this. Because I think being anywhere down south and around that Bible Belt, it kind of has that theological, I don't know, kind of undertone to a lot of the stuff, that Gothic feel, and also kind of that mystery behind it. Arkansas doesn't have as much mystery to me as a Louisiana.
Feels older.
Bayou. Exactly.
There's also racial tension.
Yeah.
That'll always be there.
Always.
And there's and then in Louisiana you have the Creole.
Yes.
You've got the what do they call it?
You don't curl me, boy.
You don't curl me, boy. They've got like the Santeria thing going on too, so there's like multiple different cultures all coming together.
I've got two guys that could have filled in for this role, not done a better job, but they fit the bill. I would have done for Woody Harrelson, Marty Hart. I would have done Kevin Costner, and for Russ Cole, I would have done Johnny Depp. They both have a Southern background.
Where's Johnny Depp from?
I think Costner's just too old.
Yeah, but
even at the time,
Costner's interesting.
I feel like because he plays Yellowstone. He can do the old cowboy type thing.
I feel like Costner's been 40. Well, now he looks like he's 70 plus.
He's been 40 for 40 years.
But I thought
Now
he's one of these guys that looks like he's been 40 for 40 years. Like when he was.
He never looked that young.
No.
He always was like 35, 40.
Johnny Depp is from
Even when he was
Kentucky.
20.
How about that? Wow, Depp. I mean, I don't know. Depp could have brought like a cowboy hat or a pirate hat to this. Would have been interesting.
Well, no, because he's done roles without that kind of grungy look.
Yeah, he could. I don't know.
He could easily go into the biker shit.
Well, that's true. But do you think he would have shown up there with scissor hands?
No, I think he actually is one guy that could do this.
Yeah, I could see it. But I tell you what, though, I'm not going out of my way to watch it.
No, I agree.
How about our villain? What do you think about his casting? Childress.
Errol Childress.
Yeah.
Thought it was good. He's a nobody.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you anything about that guy, but I sure as shit brought some mystery and intrigue to that character.
I think the best villain casting was Ledoux. Dude,
I agree, dude. He scared me.
He is that guy. They need to check that guy's records.
Yeah, dude,
bruh. Records.
They need to find out what he's doing. Yeah, I thought Errol was pretty good too. I mean,
I thought Lang was good too.
I'm telling you, dude. These
Charlie Lang.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Charlie Lang. I mean, he wasn't really a villain. He was just a.
He wasn't a good guy either. I thought he was a great cat. This was an amazing cast.
The casting is incredible.
Even like the broads in this, D'Addario and Beth, the prostitute.
D'Addario was supposed to play Beth, and then ended up. Also, they weren't supposed to do any nude scenes in this. Like
they were like,
HBO
we need to see those tiggies yesterday.
None of it was in the writing, and the HBO was like, "No, you're putting that."
Yeah.
Okay, this is HBO.
Yeah.
Hook a brother up.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not out here to be putting some
HBO and the
PG
B
shit.
stands for boobies.
Bingo. Boobies. So they did it, and she goes full on nude in this.
It was really gross to look at.
Well,
I thought you were talking about the half sister, Childress's.
My God,
Dude, I watched that today. I was literally like, oh,
maggots.
and you know what I noticed? This is really.
She had that
fucked up.
Carcosa, that Carcosa monkey.
You haven't made flowers on me in 3 weeks. But you know what's
You haven't
so
made
gross,
stanky
dude?
with me.
They were both molested by their
grandfather,
father.
and he was telling him her like, tell me about.
Yeah,
Grandpa.
while he's touching her,
You remember?
and they were getting off on it, dude. Which is
Tell me when Grandpa touched you in the.
save it.
Yeah, sorry.
Jesus Christ, you sick puppies. Well, they give me the fucking creeps, man. The things that they didn't do when they shot this, there's no CGI bullshit. There's
Thank
no
God.
like over bloated action scenes.
Yep.
There's none of that bullshit. There's no over designed sets. Everything's legit. Everything's like the most, I don't know, overdone thing. Maybe episode 4 with the biker party. That
was it. That was it. The bikers were not even. All the rest of the bikers were good. It was the one fucking dude
Which
he
one?
has to talk to.
Ginger.
Him. He was the only over actor. Like even the bouncer was a great actor.
Yeah,
I will
thought it
say.
was pretty.
Speaking of the settings, Fort Macomb, where this is filmed, episode 8, was a legit place, and I knew it once I watched it because I've been in so many forts because I'm a history travel buff. Every time we travel somewhere, I have to see.
Have you been to
history.
that?
No, but every fort fucking looks like that. I knew it was a fort. I said it out loud. That's a fort.
And they were saying it was a pirate hideout, right? And then their family had been there for so long, so this cult had been going on for hundreds of years, which is so much creepier.
Well, they also do so. We'll get into this when we break down the episodes, but they do so much like little Easter eggs, but like where they show you Errol in there.
Oh.
In there, they give you the creepy little stick figure thingies. They give you all this stuff. What is not in this season of television that is in every season of television right now is overdoing it with a million fucking characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with TV right now. It's impossible I think writers think we need all this stimulation in order to stay engaged. No, I just need good actors. I need a good story. I don't need 1,000 things, even though like one of my favorite shows that I've watched in the last few years is Stranger Things. I love it. I would say my biggest gripe with it is there's so many goddamn characters and storylines. It's impossible to keep up with everything. It's like, geez, okay, well, then it feels like you're just mashing things together.
Yes.
When eventually the season comes to a conclusion, the series comes to a conclusion, you're just matching a bunch of shit together because you got to close out all these loops. What this does really well is let each episode breathe. It doesn't give you too many different things to think about and things going on. You focus on the story, not 15 stories.
Yes.
The story. Now, CK, in your research, you said that how long did it take this guy to write this?
I heard someone say it took him 3 months to write it. I find that hard to believe.
I found that hard to believe. So in my research, I saw that it took him like years of writing before shooting, but it might have
Maybe
been
writing the script.
Script might have been a couple months.
Because it was supposed
That's
to be
my
a
guess.
novel.
Yes, it was supposed
So
to
he
be.
probably had the framework and then turned it
Yes.
into a screenplay in 3 months.
That checks out.
And they shot it really quickly too.
So that checks out. They shot this sequentially whenever possible. They wanted the performances to kind of evolve naturally. But that first day with the interview scene, so you get this in episode 1, you sit down with them, and you see McConaughey getting interviewed. That's 25% of the script is that McConaughey interview. Shot all that in one day, 18 hours. Shot it all. That's fucking incredible, man.
Yep.
Do you know, like, how much for the makeup? Because they had to age them down, age them up. In the current timeline, were they just using, like, Woody Harrelson's, like, regular hairline? Or were they just, like...
Oh, they
Because they
put a wig
definitely...
on him.
I think they aged Maggie up in the current...
In the
'cause
current one,
she
they
looks
definitely-
older than she actually is.
for sure.
But I think they had to make them look younger.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they definitely gave them wigs and stuff. Like, because we know
Shane-
Woody Harrelson's bald, so...
No doubt.
I'm going to touch on something you said. Try to be as non-controversial as I can be. When you said they didn't try to shove down your throat 15 different things, I loved it because, look, we're in Louisiana. This is country bumpkin town.
Yep.
They didn't try to do, hey, we got to have a gay couple in here. We
Yes.
got to have an interracial. It's like, they didn't try to make it into something. They made it so believable that it's like for the example, you're watching The Wire. What do you expect to watch? Fucking inner city Baltimore. They didn't shove in like, yeah, let's shove in a bunch of bro white guys. Like,
No.
no, you
don't
make it
see that.
exactly what fits the actual location, and then it's such a authentic feel, and that's
Yep.
what this had.
Another thing that this does that most television doesn't, just by nature of streaming, it was still at the time of weekly episodes, which gives you time to obsess over things, time to come up with theories, time to have conversations with people about this stuff. There isn't this big binge dump. Some of the streaming services now do like this 3-episode dump and then they go weekly after that. You know, I think we talked about this a little bit before we took
Mhm.
our break, but
HBO still does this.
they do this, and I'm grateful that they do it.
Mhm.
If I want to watch it all in one binge, fine.
Prime does it.
You
I
just
wait
wait.
until the season's done. But when things were like this, it becomes a lot easier to get attached to the show because now you're waiting for something. Now you got that anticipation that's coming. Now you're kind of thinking about shit. I do wonder what they're going to do next week. God damn. I mean, I remember when these episodes would end and being on the edge of my seat for get through the credits. Hurry up. Let me see the trailer. For the next one.
Yes.
I want to see that because I want to take a guess like, oh, shit. Okay, now there's some action going down. Now there's this. Oh my God, I can't wait. And it's appointment television. I miss that. Now, I like being able to sit down and watch everything at once, but it doesn't make me attached to the show the same way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
I agree.
But HBO has this method down of the recap, and then at the end of the episode you have the preview, and then right after the preview you have the showrunners or the director
Behind the
breaking it
scenes.
down, and then it gets you psyched for the next one.
Mhm.
And then the
Yes.
next week, dude, HBO, the way that they like their music they use, everything during that recap, you're like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go. And they just had you hooked. And it's not just for True Detective. They had like all of their shows, they do that. And it's so good.
They took the feeling you got in high school when you were waiting for a girl to text you back and made it into a freaking television network.
Genius. All right. Let's take a quick break real quick. We'll hit the head, do what we got to do. We're going to get into the story. We're going to break this down episode by episode and knock this out. Let's go. Other thing that I've like, there's a bunch of shit. I was trying to figure out, damn, how many cigarettes does he smoke during this?
Yeah, what do you think they do for that? Because I doubt McConaughey smokes cigarettes.
They said, I found on IMDb, 42 cigarettes and 8 beers were smoked on camera. I said, no fucking way, dude. He smoked 42 like per episode.
Oh, they said for the whole series?
Yes.
Yeah, no way.
But
that was in one day of shooting.
Seriously.
That was in the interview scene.
And then I was like, okay, that's not accurate. And also, there's something in there about all of these cigarettes. You might have only a couple of scenes where he's on camera exhaling. Like almost everything he's smoking in, but not exhaling. And I'm like, no, I mean, I saw him puff a shitload of cigarettes.
Dude, and McConaughey, you know, we've talked about this before, so we don't have to do it recorded, but you can tell when the actors don't know how to smoke a fucking cigarette.
Oh.
And McConaughey is nailing it in this, dude. The way because when people smoke, you're saying something, and then you start to answer like this. And
yes.
You have to be, it doesn't have to be cigarettes. I mean, he probably doesn't smoke cigarettes.
Dude.
He knows how to smoke.
He definitely smokes
real
weed.
smokers too.
Smokes weed.
When I would smoke Juuls, and I tell people this, my Juul, I had it more than oxygen. That's probably why I lost my lung. That's my number one fucking line. And when I would smoke, a real smoker that loves smoking, and you know this from weed, you hold that bitch in and you hope everything you exhale is clear because your lungs absorbed every fucking ounce of it. And that's what McConaughey does in this. He's like, because you really want that fucking escape.
Yes.
You don't want to go like a cigar. Like that's not it. You want it. You want it in your lungs. You want it in your whole fucking body.
You want it. All right. Episode 1, The Long, Bright Dark. So, we are met in the beginning. We have the 2012 interrogations. And starts with Monsieur Cole. And really sets the freaking tone for the entire season. So, we get the interrogations. We get to meet Rust and Marty at a crime scene. And this crime scene is taking place in a random field in 1995. Ritualistic murder of Dora Lang. The case feels different by the nature of how they find her body. They know it's not just a normal murder. This is something funky, something bizarre, something that's off. This is not somebody's first kill. This is one of many. They just don't know how. So instantly, we are met with intrigue. We are met with mystery, with darkness, and we have two characters that don't like each other. And then we get their older versions of themselves recapping things to two other detectives that are interrogating them. So, CK, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on episode 1?
On that first scene?
Give me the first scene. Any initial thoughts on this? Rust, Marty, the other detectives, the crime scene, whatever you got on episode 1, because it's a hell of an introduction to the best series of television.
You can tell it's going to be a very dark, ominous feeling throughout the whole thing. You can tell everyone there is like, oh, shit, we've never dealt with this before. The sheriff is like, this is above my fucking pay grade. He doesn't even want to deal with it.
Not even.
The only person that is like ready to fucking go is Rust. I like that Marty is kind of like, You got anything in those books about coming to conclusions? So he's already starting to like call him out on his bullshit, although he's always right.
He is always
he's
right.
really right, like 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just like turning a blind eye to everything that's going on. It's almost like they don't want to believe. They know that it's too horrifying to believe. So they avert their gaze.
Yes.
Which ties into the whole theme, cosmic horror, inspired by Lovecraft. I don't know if you guys got into any of that for this. But.
Yeah, I did see that in there. So is it that most of this, like the Yellow King and all that stuff, is kind of coming from a book. But that is true. I mean, opening scene, kind of, you get the idea of this is going to be a freaking dark. They are telling you, audience, buckle up, get ready. If the trailer didn't tell you how this was going to go, get ready to watch a pretty fucking dark show and what's about to go down. It tells you how to watch it. You get to meet Rust, who is this pretty unsettling character. Brilliant, but he's fucking different. That is not. And what also is funny, you learn pretty quickly because of Marty's dislike for him. He's right on just about everything. He knows it. He's not apologetic about it. And they all fucking hate him for that. And they hate that he's right because he's abrasive. And then you meet Marty, who's a lot more likable to the average guy, the average detective. He gets along pretty well with everybody, but he does not come off like a guy who is really invested in anything. He is kind of just there going through the motions, pretty morally flexible. But you also get introduced to Louisiana as this decaying kind of ecosystem. And it's more than just a place where the TV show is shot. You get enveloped in this whole world. And right off the jump, I'm fucking hooked. And we've talked about this on other pods before, about the cigarette and how that son of a bitch will loop you in and lock you into anything. As soon as I see Cole light that thing up, I'm like,
You can't do that here no more.
damn it, I am in. I am
Yeah.
freaking in, bro.
Yeah, they try to tell him not to smoke.
For me, episode
Don't
one.
be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. Come on. Go ahead.
For me, episode one, the setting, it has a cold temperature as far as contrast goes. It's not bright. It's not colorful. It's swampy. Okay, I'm listening. And then I see the murder, and I watch a lot of crime, and when I see the murder, at first glance, I go, okay, she's got antlers, blah, blah, blah. Then when I hear Russ start ringing off all kinds of things from his book, and he's done this before, this means something, Marty. He's practiced. This isn't his first time. Now I'm listening. Okay. I'm still not sold. And then when they get in the car and you can see their relationship is strenuous and new. Okay. All right. Now I got 3 different plots going on. I got swampy, decaying setting. I have a strenuous relationship between the 2 main characters. And then I have a possible murderous, ravenous, sexual, and maybe religious undertone to this show. Throw in a cigarette, which means I gave up on my life and I'm sure as shit about it. I'm in. Dude, and they do it all. They do all the little touch points for me. They hit my freaking Hollywood G spot in the first 10 seconds. And I'm in.
The thing is, a murder is interesting unto itself. But when you start talking about those other beats that you mentioned, the religious components to it, the sadist kind of real dark manner in which this victim lived or what they experience in their final moments, and then you get the whiff of serial killer, shoot it into my veins.
Mhm.
There's something about hunt, and I'm not alone in this because goddamn, I put on Netflix and Prime and everything else now, and I would say a good 25% of the shows are about hunting down serial killers, so I don't want to hear any shit from anybody on this. When there is a serial killer on the loose, I'm in. Now, when it gets to be a darker one that looks like they've done this not once, but a bunch of times, and I got Matthew McConaughey hunting them down, brother.
Dude, not only that,
Shoot it into my veins.
I forgot to mention this. This was the other caveat he threw at us, just to tickle it. She's a prostitute, Marty. Yeah, here we go. Coming to conclusion. She's got track marks and she's got something under her fingernails. She hasn't bathed and she was lying down for this. She was laying down for a while. She's got and I'm like, okay. So in my head, I go fast forward and I go, the whole rest of the show when they're looking, they're not going to the posh parts of town. They're going to have to go talk to prostitutes. And this is going to be dark. And the reason we like this as an audience is because a normal person, the people who like the prostitutes and the serial killers, they're not watching Netflix most likely. The people who are the people who are sitting on their couch in their house or their apartment, and this is their chance to be a voyeur into the life that they didn't live.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when it's darker or there's a sexual component, sometimes people can relate to that. Most times people are wondering what the hell that would feel like. That's why when you make it super dark and niche like this to the very dregs of society, it really grabs the audience.
Hell yeah, it does. CK, what do you think about the Rust versus Marty thing? And they're supposed to be partners, but clearly there's tension there.
Mhm.
And it seems like Rust gets thrown on him because Marty's like a nice guy, maybe, and he doesn't really want him to be a partner, but nobody else wants him.
Well, I think Marty is a good detective, but Rust is it is his whole life. Not even being a detective, this case
Yes.
is his whole life.
Well, I think when we get introduced to Rust and he rattles off all those different things that you mentioned, he comes off obsessive and super knowledgeable about not just victimhood and crime, but with serial killers. And then you're thinking, all right, I'm kind of intrigued. What kind of experience has this guy had? Okay, hold up. You're telling me they were killed right here? Sorry, audience. This is a stupid bit that me and my dumbass brother have back and forth. Wait, right here? Okay, I like what I'm hearing. Okay. You're telling me
There's 3 churches.
this guy doesn't have a notepad. He's got a ledger? I'm in. Okay, I'm hooked. So
Okay, what is this a reference to?
this is in reference to the stupid Dollar General video that we have watched 1,000 times.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay,
I'm listening.
okay.
Where the strategy behind a Dollar General. It's right across from a church. Okay.
Wait, there's already a Dollar General here?
So you're telling me if you got to lock your doors when you're going through? Okay, I'll lock it up here.
All right, put it in.
You know what? Put it in. Let's go. So when you get that dude rattling that shit off like that, I know that I'm in for not only a great case and a great show, but I'm getting into a character that is obsessive and going to make this very interesting, because then I know I'm going to get some backstory on him. And I want that. I want to learn how did this case come up? All right. So obviously we have a killer, we have a victim. What's the victim's story? What's the killer's story? How are they going to find this guy? But now I get to get the detective that's involved. How did he get to this place? And how does he know all this shit? We've talked about him being potentially self-taught and all this stuff, but this is episode 1. I don't know anything about him. I just know that this guy's weird. He's offbeat.
Mhm.
And nobody else seems as interested in this as he is. Most of them just want to avert their eyes. He's the only one that won't. And
Yeah.
that's something that's very interesting because you'll see that foreshadow for later in the season because he is the only one that does not want to let this go. Other people are pushing this away and away and away, but I thought that was interesting.
That's the thing that you said there, the one thing that hit me. He doesn't look away.
No.
When everyone else is freaked out, it's a subtle detail, but you might not even know you register it. Like I am right now, I'm registering it now. But him not looking away and they're all like, I ain't fucking touching her. And he's touching her, moving around, looking so. It's like, oh, maybe he's ex-military. Maybe he's done something where this doesn't freak him out. And that's what you're thinking. Like, he's somebody I got to keep an eye on in this show.
Yes. I don't know what it is, but I'm interested. And I will say that's most characters that McConaughey plays on screen. It's generally his personality as somebody that I just want to watch this guy. I'm interested, but he's very engaging. This is a different beat of a character because it's very dark. It's different than anything else that he's played. He's still super engaging, but beyond the crime scene, you get the other two detectives interrogating them. And I'm not really sure. So you have two timelines going on here at the same time. And usually I'm not a huge fan of timelines, and particularly two going simultaneously with each other. Sometimes it gets real freaking confusing very easily if the writers don't do it right or the editing is off just enough. But the way that they age the characters in this, the way that they sequence everything, it makes it very clear what is happening in 1995 and what is happening in 2012. Did you guys have any issues with the first episode and the timelines and any of that shit?
Here's why it works. They did it perfectly because they're quick. It's 1995, but they're not flipping back to present time to a different situation. They go to the exact situation that they're talking about, or when they come back to the interview room, it's of what just happened. It's very linear. It corresponds with, it doesn't confuse you, and it's not long enough to piss you off. And the other thing here that they did really well, there's, like you said before, there's not 4 or 5 different plots. It's 2 guys. You're following Marty. Even if Maggie's on the scene, she's going to meet Marty or she's going to meet Rust.
She doesn't have her own POV.
Exactly. It's all 2 POVs.
There's
It's
only
very
3
easy.
in the whole show.
Who's the
There's-
third?
The third is briefly Childress.
Yeah.
The last episode they go, which when we can talk about that when we get there because I want to bring that up later. But
Yeah.
that's the only 3. There's no other POV, and that's why
Yeah.
it's so simple. There's just 2 for the whole show until the last episode.
I think it also helps them with the actual like filming of it too, and not having to spend a freaking $1 billion on an episode because it's like, dude, we spent a whole episode with these 2 guys in a car going to scene, or the same couple of guys in an interrogation room. But anyways, episode 1, immediately I'm hooked. Episode 2, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about on episbode 1, ready to transition?
Let's move on to 2.
2 things. All right, this one's a little bit more tone setting, give you a little bit more color on the character. So in this episode, we get the investigation widening a little bit beyond Dor Lang. We get some religious imagery. We get some ritual symbolisms that intensify. We get Rust's psychological instability becoming a little more visible to the audience. You get to see some of his synesthesia. You get to see some of his, certainly in 2012 during the interrogation scenes, you can see what he's become, the drinking, the smoking, and all that stuff. He's always been a smoker. But you get to tap in a little bit more in episode 2 to some of the stuff that he's been privy to in the past. And then you start seeing Marty's home life fracture a little bit, and you get a little bit more color on what's going on in the home front. So, thoughts on episode 2. When does it stop feeling like a normal cop story? So they're under pressure to land a suspect. This is where it starts. This is one of the components that makes it like a typical cop show.
Yeah.
Where we talked about this in the opening. Every time the chief is like, well, you're not solving it fast enough. Every freaking time. So we get that. But episode 2 is they're trying to land a suspect. They don't really have anybody. They're trying to replace them on the case with a new task force. So this is
The idea of the task force is from Billy Lee Tuttle, whose first cousin is the governor. And when he comes in, he's like, I've been talking to Eddie, and we think you boys are going to be really great. And Russ is like, and who the fuck is Eddie? And then I love that he said that too, because he's like, who is this guy coming in here just assuming we all know who you're talking about? Like, they really established the Tuttles are definitely in on this.
Yeah, and then Don Yesso says, you need to shut your fucking mouth next time.
Dude, that guy.
Don Yesso, the bailiff, the
bailiff.
fucking deputy, the guy who has no fucking words except for fuck you. He's the gray haired guy. For guys who are thinking about who we're talking about, he's the gray haired, kind of like, he's not fat, he's in decent shape guy who is always hunched over, and he's sitting next to the captain even when the captain's replaced. And this guy just hates everybody, and he's always there when they're getting fucking
Yelled
punished.
at. Yeah, and he really hates Cole.
Yeah.
Really.
And you almost know he's one of those guys that he's like an assistant coach where he actually doesn't have his feelings of his own. He's just an echo. He's like an echo chamber for whatever the head guy said. He's one of those guys that literally he gets off on supporting whatever authority said.
Yeah, he's Gallardi.
There you go.
Cut that out, I guess, but no one's gonna know what
No
that
need,
means.
dude. He doesn't work there anymore.
But nobody's gonna know what that means. But that is Gallardi.
So they get this task force that is getting pushed on them. They're able to buy some more time. Look, just give us a few more days. That's all we need. So that's one of the plot lines in this episode. The other one, we get introduced to D'Addario's.
Not one, but two.
No, we have 2 big old D'Addario's in here.
Oh my God.
And so you start to see, whoa, something smells a little fishy with Marty. Something's up here, bud.
You just got to be even keel, okay?
Dude,
That's right.
He could not be less subtle. I mean,
That-
she walks in the office and he's like, sees her right away.
No.
Oh, wow. Are those the papers? Let's just find somewhere quiet
Marty,
to call. Like,
every time.
These are for Officer Hart, Detective Hart, and he said I have to hand deliver to him. And you could tell the front desk lady's like, okay.
well, you can tell Rust is onto him. He notices
he, like,
it. All
looks
he
up,
does
like-
is looks up, but he's like, I got too much shit to do. But
Yeah.
Exactly.
he's onto him from the get-go.
Dude, and then Marty goes, why don't we get a private room? And it's like, dude, and you know what? You think he's overacting? No. He's overacting if they're the same age and they're both 23, whatever. He is acting like a 45-year-old desperate coonhound would act.
100% he is. He's a sick puppy, dude. So you get that. You also get the freaking mural that you
at the
mentioned
very end.
at the very end. So in this incinerated church, you're already like, all right, dude. Now I'm like, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on right now, and I don't know exactly what's going on, but this is deeper than just one killing.
Yeah.
It's deeper, and I gotta find out what the hell this is. Anytime you see a mural and you start seeing all this stuff, plus a burned down church, I mean, come on now. But the Tuttle component to this is always like, this show is so freaking Louisiana. It can't just be like John Tuttle. It's got to be Billy Lee Tuttle.
Of course. Well, it's realistic.
Yeah.
Who is
Tammy Lee.
Who's Eddie? I'm surprised it wasn't Eddie Lee Tuttle. Well, that's actually Eddie Lee Tuttle.
Dude, it's all fucking Robert E. Lee. They all put their middle names as Lee.
It's so dumb. But you start noticing, like, I know, like, when they start pushing the task force on, something's up. Like, anytime you start getting stuff pushed down or things start to get tamped down from above, I've watched enough cop shows to figure out.
It didn't hit me yet at this point. I just went, oh, fuck me. They're gonna have to do it on the low.
I mean, I knew something was up. Didn't know what, but I knew. All right, something's up.
I mean, Billy Lee is so suspicious.
Yeah.
In there.
And he's
Yeah.
huge.
He's too. Yeah, it's weird that he's massive.
Yeah, it gives him more of like an authoritative look too. Oh, he's
Yeah.
a big as fuck politician.
Well, it also makes more sense why Errol ends up becoming.
They're all big.
They're
All three of
big
the
MFs, big
main
old
villains
swamp
are
creatures.
huge.
Yeah.
They're all swamp creatures. Creatures.
Yeah.
They're all swampies. So, I don't think there's anything else like revealing in that episode, but it furthers that plot, and then we get into episode 3. Is there anything else you guys want to cover
Did
on
they
2?
have dinner in 2?
Dinner was in 1 or 2.
I thought it was in
So-
2 because they're standing by the tree and he goes, I hate to bring it up now. This is at the
That's it. That's
well,
episode
dinner
1.
is like
Oh,
broken
that's 1.
up.
Okay, that's 1.
Dinner's broken up. Like it's not all one scene.
right.
They show him walking up to the house. They cut back to the future. They cut back to the present. They go to the dinner.
Bingo.
Uh,
So you do get Marty. I think he does have him over for dinner in episode 2. He talks about having him over in episode 1. Not Marty. Freaking Rust shows up, stone drunk, and you're wondering why. He had been out with the
two prostitutes.
trying
trying
at
to
the
find out if they knew.
bar, trying to find out if they knew Dora lying. And then also, I'm sure he didn't need a reminder, but it happened to be his dead daughter's birthday too. So he figured,
Yeah.
I guess I'll just tie one off. Could never really handle his liquor that well.
But that was character development because you got to see, oh, that's his pain.
That's his pain.
That's his pain. Okay.
That's his
All
pain.
right.
Oh, that his acting when they open the door, he's standing at the front door, and he's like he glances at the two daughters and looks away, and he's like holding everything in, and then his apology to Marty, dude, the acting was
What's it like?
He's like he tells him why he was drinking. I was following up on some KAs at the bar, and I had a drink. Couldn't think of a good reason not to. Usually I can. And then Marty's like, don't worry about it. We'll do it another time. He's like, Marty, I'm sorry, man. Like voice tremble.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it justice.
No.
but
I remember it now.
It's so good. Like he's actually
And Marty's like,
being sincere.
can you fucking pull it together for 10 minutes of conversation? I'll
Yeah.
get you picked up.
Yeah. And then this is the first signs of like him butting his way in between Maggie and
That's when I kind of thought, oh, maybe does he like Maggie?
And I don't think he likes Maggie in that.
No, but
She likes
as
him.
an audience member, I'm
Yeah.
going, every show's like this, and he's talking to her. But the reason I trusted him, because as an audience guy, you're also looking for a reason to hate somebody, even if it's subconscious, and you're like, he better not flirt with her. The thing I like about him most is he never looks at her and stares at her. Like a guy who's trying to get laid is going to be looking at her like, yeah, I was, but he was just like, nope.
He
Yeah.
never tried to. I think maybe deep down he did maybe have some sort of desire for her, but she instantly was fascinated
Yes.
and intrigued and
That's what you
probably
see.
turned on by him because
He's so present.
it's because he's present. And what Marty doesn't do is he never talks to her. He tries to stop her when she wants to talk about things. She says, don't stop me. Talk. Because he tries to like kiss her. And she's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm trying to fucking talk to you.
Yes.
And Rust goes right into the details. I mean, at first he doesn't want to, but once he starts talking, he's like, and he tells the truth. He's honest. And that's what she wants. She just wants Marty to be fucking honest. Like,
yes.
and not like if he would have just said, I cheated on you, I'm sorry. Like she probably would have been
Oh my God, it's the first time you
more
actually said
okay
something
with
to
it.
me.
But that's what she's so intrigued by is how his integrity and his honesty.
Yeah,
And
it's like
he's-
Marty, even with his daughters, like he answers their questions for them. How's school to? Oh, sure. It was like he doesn't let
Yeah.
anybody talk, and he's always
That's
just
true.
like on to the next thing. Like he's not there in his head. he's always acting. Even when he's at the office, he's doing just enough to seem like he belongs. And like you'll see it, like we're talking episode 2, and you'll see it throughout, but you see Marty's doing a lot of the legwork, and Russ is doing all the legwork, and Marty's just kind of like, he's important because he keeps everybody off them, and he's doing all the right things as far as speaking well to his colleagues and stuff. He's doing all the inner politics that you need in a workplace, but it's actually not helpful to the actual goal of the job you're doing, but it's also weirdly just as necessary. So they're almost like 50-50 in that aspect.
He starts doing the legwork when he gets caught cheating.
Yeah.
And his family is gone. And now he's like, well, fuck. Now he's like Rust, and he starts going out chasing
chasing leads, because there's nothing that will make a guy more hungry than when he has nothing left.
Yeah.
And now the thing that you have is, the one thing I have is my job. So I guess I'm going to go after that and do my best because I have nothing else.
Yeah, and both of their lives are depressing, but on face value, you would think Rust's life is worse. But when I look at the two, Marty's is so much more depressing, because even though Rust he lost a daughter, which is probably arguably the worst thing that can happen to a person, is losing a child, but his life has purpose with this case.
Mm-hmm.
He just abandons every sort of relationship and normal part of life to just focus on protecting these innocent people and figuring this case out. Marty could have had the perfect life, and he completely...
He's the guy that has one toe dipped in the water in every part of his life, and Russ just has one pool that he's all the way in at the bottom, and he's holding his breath. And that's the difference. One guy who has everything, just a toe in the water in each thing.
Yeah.
And that's sadder.
It is. Well, I think what you guys touched on there was spot on. I don't know that Maggie attracted to him in like a sexual nature.
I agree.
Then you find, well, I don't want to spoil what happens next, but I don't think it was that. I think that he provided the attention that she was seeking, and I think she allowed him to open up and share things that he doesn't share with anybody, because he doesn't have any friends. He doesn't have any family. He has nobody. The only person he has to talk to is Marty, who doesn't want to hear a fucking word that's coming out of his mouth because it's too. He said, "You know what? Keep all that bullshit out of this fucking car. I don't want to fucking hear you talk again."
Yeah.
And at the dinner, when Marty goes in the other room to take the call, she finds out that Russ's daughter died. He tells her.
Yeah.
And then Marty comes back in. She's like, "Have you ever talked to him about his life?" And he's like, "Trust me, honey, you don't want to pick this man's brain."
And
which is hilarious.
She says, "I know more about him in 5 minutes than you do being his partner."
And the other thing, she didn't tell him, like later that night, she didn't tell him, "Hey, his daughter's dead."
Yeah,
which
that's what you
also
figure
shows their relationship is fucked.
Yes, and you don't find that out till later, because in my head, she told him. Because everyone just
you would think that, but then
tell your wife.
It's not till the next episode in the car.
Yeah,
he's like, "You lost a kid," after Russ tells him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So they're not talking, Maggie and Marty.
No.
I mean, unless he was playing it off like he didn't know, but he definitely, I think he did.
He didn't know. I don't think he knew.
Well,
because they don't fucking talk.
No, or if they do talk, it's him being defensive because he feels like every time she opens her mouth towards him, it's just like accusatory, or like, "Gosh,
but how can you
just lay off my back?
Yeah,
like, I'm trying to finish this case. I'm trying."
She's
to do
like
all
a
this
mom.
He can't be present and talk to her, because in order to do that, he has to admit that he is cheating on her. He has to remain distant so that he can not feel guilty.
Yes.
If he does talk to her and gets to the details, well, eventually he's going to have to be like, "Well, I have been doing this."
Yes.
So.
You can't really show your true colors.
Not yet. Not yet. Good call on episode 2. You guys ready to get to episode 3?
Yeah.
All right. Lego. So episode 3, we get the locked room. The moral collapse starts to begin. The suspect list grows a little bit murkier. Marty's infidelity escalates. We get Rust's obsession sharpening a little bit more. We get the case feeling increasingly unsolvable. There are a lot of different things at play, but at this point, I think it's fair to say we trust Rust way more than we trust Marty. And it's not even close in pretty much any aspect of life.
Personally, professionally,
professionally,
spiritually.
all of it. Spiritually, the atheist, I would trust more than Marty, because Marty, with all of his, charisma, if that's what you want to call it, his, like you said, he says all the right things and continues to say all the right things, but he's not doing all the right things.
Yeah.
He's like just passing through. You know what I mean? He's not somebody that's really, that is really diving in. Now, I think he does get more and more involved in this from a case perspective as things go, but it's because everything else around him on the personal side starts falling apart, because all of his bullshit starts coming to light, and it gets harder for him to lie. I learned a long time ago, the more you lie, the harder it is to keep up with it, because you're going to forget your fucking lies. You're better off just telling the truth. Tell the truth, and the truth shall set you free, as they say. Marty, on the other hand, can't fucking keep his shit together, and he is one of the worst goddamn liars I've ever seen on television, except with his bosses. He just keeps, I will say, from a partner perspective, he is the only one that has Cole's back. Everybody else fucking hates Cole for no reason other than he's telling the truth, and he's not interested in politics. He's not interested in the social cues. He's not interested in all that shit. He's interested in getting shit done and efficiency and doing what is morally right. None of the other ones give a shit. They just want the paycheck. They want to say whatever needs to be said in order to get to that next level. Nobody else is paying attention to what's actually important, which is solving the fucking case and getting the innocent people the justice that they deserve.
He believes in Cole because he even knows from an early stage, this is the only real thing in my life.
Yeah.
Is this guy. And I'm not him. I just work with him. But for some fucking reason, I'm going to go through the pain of sticking up for him and stuff because he's the only real thing I have.
That's it.
And he makes my job actually seem real, if that makes sense. Like, he gives my job context. So at least something in my life is real. It almost helps him at home with the lies and everything because he's got cases and stuff. We're working cases. He's building the context for which Marty hides behind in the other parts of his life. Because if the work wasn't real, it's going to be even harder to lie about the cases.
In this episode, we also meet our minister. Now, this guy is, I think he's got to be under contract with HBO at this time because he's in Boardwalk Empire. He's in I swear to God,
everything.
5 different HBO shows at the same time. But he is our tent revival minister. And they find him because the prior episode, we find that mural in that burned down church. So that was his church. They've now gone from brick and mortar to this tent revival floating church scheme. They get to meet him.
Well, hold on. They find him not from that. They find him because after the beat down church that's burned down, they go to the prostitutes. Russ is working them at night and he's at the bar and they tell him about the ranch. He goes to the ranch and then they give him the one thing the girl had in her book.
Oh, that's right.
Which was the flyer for the tent revival.
Yep.
And that's how.
So they find him.
Minister Therio, right?
That's right. And then they get to talk to a known sex offender that is implicated, I guess, in Dora Lang's murder. But Cole's pretty skeptical. And
Bert.
And then they find out later, well, Bert couldn't have freaking done it. This guy doesn't have parts. They got cut off in jail, partially. And he just coldly, detached, kind of was like, man, well, that couldn't have been him. Marty, I don't know what to say. I went to go. I gave the guy a hug. He shit himself on the spot. So,
Yeah.
like,
I don't think he gave him a hug.
what did he
I think
say?
he braced him.
He said, I
He
braced him.
braced him.
I braced him and he shit himself
Yeah.
on the spot. Like, yeah, poor guy.
Shit himself.
Which
whatever.
I was thinking, what's brace?
Yeah, what? Yeah, how did he find out that he got his?
Well, he obviously said before he went in, I'm going to check him. And the minister said, we'll go do it somewhere private. So he's going to like look at him somehow. But I guess maybe he did like the brace in my head was a bend over and cough. I don't know what it was, but it was something where his pants came off and he fucking saw it. But the brace wasn't a hug or a handshake.
Therio must have told him the whole story after he met with him, because he wouldn't have gotten all the details of the Bloods chopping his balls off and doing a rough job.
Especially
of all
that
stuff.
guy. He's not going to say
He's not going to say all that stuff, no. So he must have kept talking to Therio and they just didn't show it on screen.
Yep. It was implied.
So then that lead really doesn't go anywhere. They start looking again at old cases. Meanwhile, we get Maggie trying to set Cole up with friends. This also might be getting my episodes mixed up a little bit. I can't remember if this is one where the D'Addario shows up to like the hoedown with a different date. I can't remember if that's it.
Yeah, that's
think
the
that's straight.
synesthesia
Okay.
date.
Yep. And is that Maggie's sister that she starts with, or is it just a friend?
I think it's a friend. I think it's a nurse. She keeps setting him up with nurses, which is like
Obvious. She's a
obvious.
nurse.
Cops
All
and nurses go
are
together
fucking ready
like,
to go.
spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
Or spaghetti and limb, Big Daddy shout out. What up? So that's basically the gist around that episode, but it's mostly like, I feel like it dives a little bit deeper into the personal story than it does into the case.
This is a personal episode.
Mostly.
Yeah, and you can see Marty just not even trying to hide it, going up to the bar.
So bad.
Yeah.
Honey, they'll bring you the
Come
waitress
here,
will put-
do a shot with me.
Yeah. Like,
Dude.
do a shot with me. And then, like, and she is like, oh, it's okay. You're fucking married.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to date.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, buddy? Marty, I'm not in this to marry you. Jesus Christ, pal. So it's just like personal failure for him over and over. He can't get out of his own freaking way. And it's like building up to the point where like, all right, it's going to come crashing down at some point. It's just a matter of how. How is it going to happen? This guy is so stupid and obvious.
Yeah.
It blows me away. You start seeing a lot more of like Rust's nihilism too, poking through. And some of that's because his partners are basically an idiot on a personal level. And so like the longer they're partners, obviously the closer he gets to Maggie and the family and all that stuff. So he sees like, when he sees them, it's almost like a surrogate family for him. And then he sees the guy that's in charge of that family. It's also his partner, just ruining everything because he's so stupid and trying to chase after everything that's not his. It's not necessary.
This when we get the locker room scene in episode 3?
I'm pretty sure this is the locker room scene.
I also think in episode 3, as far as the investigation goes, this is the Marie Fontenot episode. And they get introduced to the green-headed spaghetti monster.
That's right. Which is also callback to the book that you mentioned that a lot of this script comes off from. From the Marty perspective, I don't know. He just keeps digging his hole deeper. There's not really much else there. You're just waiting for this thing to come crumbling down for him. Do you feel for him at all? Or are you just like observing, like, all right, well, let me just wait until this falls the fuck apart here and then see how he reacts to it. Part of me is kind of at this point hoping that it falls apart so he can get his ass like, dude, you can't be half pregnant in 7 different arenas of your life. You got to go all in on something. If it's home life, great. Let it be that. If it's work, great. Let it be that. But he is in nothing.
Yeah.
He is everywhere and nowhere. All
if the all in is a divorce, then by all means, let's just be all in on one fucking thing.
Do something, buddy.
I do, as much as I don't like him, it's not really, I don't think this is the correct word, commiserate, like I'm feeling for the guy, but I do know people like him. So, and I think everyone knows somebody like him in their life that just, he can't help it. He's insecure. He's trying to find some sort of love that he didn't get. Even though he's got it right in front of him, he's still looking for something. So it's not really commiseration. It's more so like understand him.
Oh, I understand him very well. I had a
not
guy
a
like this
hate.
in my life for a very long time. So did you.
I did too. It's not a hate as much as it is like, oh, I know this guy. Like, and the only way through this is the hard way.
Yep.
What drives me crazy about him is, and we're getting ahead, so we can come back to it, but that he gets a second chance and then does the same freaking thing again, dude. That's when I'm watching it and I'm staring at the screen like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like the first one, it's immaturity. It's like all of his excuses. Yeah, they're bullshit, but at least you can say like, you can kind of reason with it. It's a mulligan. It's a mulligan. Hey, it's a mulligan. He hasn't learned from it yet. It's not excusable, but he hasn't learned from it. So he cheats with the Dario, and then he gets the one thing that would make his life meaningful back, and then he fucking throws it in the trash again. And that's what makes me really hate him in a lot of ways. I don't hate him all the way because I think he is a good detective and a good man as far as taking up for innocent people. But as a family man and as a husband, terrible guy.
At this point, you
Not
don't
yet.
know he's going to do that yet.
Yeah.
So there's still hope
Yeah.
at this point in his character development.
Yeah, there's still hope.
Which is what makes later more impactful. But at this point in time, you're still hoping like, okay, he might get through this. Maybe he's going to like just come clean.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting dynamic because you have everything that you guys just mentioned. So you have Marty's self-sabotage. He just can't get out of his own fucking way. And at the same time, you have Cole obsessed with the case, and he's already got this mindset of, this pessimistic mindset, nothing matters except this and doing the right thing. And you're just like, I don't know, man. You would think that having for Marty that kind of pessimist next to you would get you to see the other side of things. He just can't fucking stop himself, dude.
He contradicts himself, Russ.
So many times.
Because
Well,
Russ
that's
does,
true.
because nothing matters, but why are you the most moral guy?
Well,
and
that's
the most
true.
honest guy, and your only focus is to actually save innocent lives. If nothing mattered, why would you do that?
Well, he talks in all these like, well, time is a flat circle and all that kind of bullshit. And I think some of it comes off like he's just maybe trying to coach himself a little bit. You know what I mean? Like trying to get into that mindset, or maybe emotionally detach himself so that he can complete the case and solve what needs to be solved. But if everything is truly that bad, wouldn't you just kill yourself?
Yeah, but he even says that.
It's not.
He says, Marty asks him, why wouldn't you just kill yourself? And he says, I don't have the Constitution to do that. So my only option, I forget what he says, but his only option is to do what Colin's saying, is to try his best to fix what's in front of him.
What did he say? He's like, I tell myself it's something, but the truth is it's habit. My programming.
Yeah, my programming.
And I lack the Constitution for
I lack the
suicide.
Constitution for suicide.
Wild.
So it's his programming. It's not, that's what he tells himself. It's not because he cares.
I don't think he really believes this. I think deep down, he does believe that there's meaning to life, but because of all the trauma and pain, he's got to convince himself that there's no meaning.
Well, A lot of my favorite episodes in television are the penultimate episode, the one before the finale. But episode 3 kind of feels a little bit penultimate to one of the best episodes, and that's episode 4. Episode 4, we get to meet Crash. And how we get to meet Crash is fun. We get to meet your boy Ginger, which is tremendous because he's got the biggest freaking eyes you've ever seen in your life. And I'm ready to talk about it, boys. Let's talk episode 4 and then we'll take a break. So, episode 4, who goes there? We get Rust infiltrating the biker gang. Everything fucking blows up for Marty because, well, Daddario tells the wife everything that's going on because Marty has a little bit of an episode. Might or might not have gotten drunk, run over a sign, showed up at her apartment, tried to bash the door down, maybe at the end of episode 3.
This was after the hoedown.
After the hoedown, because how dare she go and blow another dude, because she is supposed to be his side piece.
I called Colin about this and I said, dude, I connected with Marty so much on this episode because... No, listen, guys.
Oh my God.
This is a past self of mine. I was a troubled guy like Marty. Granted, it was 12 years ago, it was high school. But where you think it's an attack on your whole fucking life when you're not the one that's picked and it's somebody you love. And maybe not even love, but someone who you think is your fucking right, your property.
Right.
And that's what he thinks in the situation. And the one thing he says that clicked with me, and I told Colin this, is, and this is like such dominant fucking thinking, is the one thing he cared about, not if they fucked, did she suck your dick? Because fucking is pleasure for both. Sucking your dick is, no, she just wanted to pleasure him. She chose him 100%, not 50-50 like sex. Sucking his dick? That's like,
give me the face.
That's like, dude, she does not care, but she actually wants him so bad. She wants him to be happy, the guy she's with. Just
There
so he
is a
can get
level
off.
of pleasure that you get from, I mean, I don't want to get too crazy. If you're like, you go down on,
No, sure.
you're enjoying it too when you go down on your girl.
But
So
when you're the guy that's not there, and
yeah, you're not thinking about that.
You're not thinking
Yeah.
about like, oh, well, maybe she kind of enjoyed it. It's like, no, she wasn't getting any pleasure out of this herself. She literally just thought this guy was so fucking awesome. So you can see like his whole thought process, and you think, and this is what clicked for me, Maggie was right. He's a child in a man's body because only a child thinks that way.
100%.
And that's why I brought this up and connected with my high school self, is because you're a child.
Yes, he's a
And
baby.
that's when you start to look at Marty like he's a fucking baby.
Yep.
100%. So you get that. Maggie finds out, takes the kids, goes to her parents' house. We've already got a little scene prior to this where you could see the tension between Marty and the in-laws is already there. Frankly, the tension between Maggie and her parents is there. They don't really like each other that much, but she doesn't have anywhere else to go. So she takes the family. They go. Marty is pissed. He's pissed. So starts freaking out, starts making the phone calls, pulls out his little address book. So 1995. And talks to the father-in-law, has a whole diatribe with him.
That acting was amazing.
Oh,
Jake,
great.
like the
Jake.
way, because you know they hate each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the way you would call, like he's trying to keep it together and not freak out.
Yeah.
And then, and when he calls Daddario, he's like,
oh,
can I cuss on this one?
You're welcome to. Go ahead.
out.
I will skull fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly right. That's
That
exactly
was crazy.
That was
Dude.
And you
insane.
know what the part that makes that even more painful is when they're at the courthouse. In my head, I went, oh, he just won, dude. Because he doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's done. And when
nope.
she's trying to get him in the elevator and she's like, I want you to respect me. And he's like, I am. And then it closes. This is me respecting you. And then it was like, dang, Marty actually won. He's done with her. Thank God. Maybe he'll go home and be a good dad.
No, but this is
sir.
better because what is he gonna like say? Oh yeah, that just never happened, and then just not ever tell anyone.
Dude,
it's gonna eat away at your soul for the rest of your marriage. It had to come out.
It did, but I'm more intrigued by the court scene because the sucking dick thing clicked. It clicked. It clicked in his head to go, oh well, she's just a nasty filth whore. So now I actually don't care about her. I don't care about you anymore. And she could tell by his body language.
He was really done.
He was really done. Like you're done with me now? Because she's a fucking toddler.
Yep.
So now it's two toddlers in a fight, and that never ends well.
It never ends well. You know exactly how it's going to go. She took it a step further, though. And she said, oh, you think you're the only one with power because you have a badge?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, badge guy.
Yeah.
You're the one? Really? And so she says that, and she even says that on the phone to him, like, all you cops are the same, all you detectives are the same, you think of this, blah, blah, blah. You could treat anybody however you feel like, you treat women this way, blah. It's her little childish way of making it okay what she did.
Yeah.
Maggie is like, look, you're both whores.
No, she said she's disgusting.
She's disgusting. She
Dude,
saw
'cause
our
she
children.
knew the whole time.
She knew. She's
Dude,
not dumb.
Marty is such a hypocrite about everything,
Everything.
dude. Like he's like, you're a whore. Marty, you're a whore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are a whore. You're doing whore behavior.
You get skull fucked.
Marty, you are the whore.
Literally everything he says is a contradiction. Like
100%.
when he fights with Jake, the father-in-law, about every old man has said this throughout history.
Yes, he's the guy.
And then later when he's getting interviewed by Gilboa and the other dude, he's like, there was a time where men didn't air their bullshit out to the world. Now he's the old guy doing the same. He contradicts
Same thing.
every single thing he says in the whole show.
Every time. Every time. Meanwhile, while that's going down, you have Rust now. It's like, okay, well, guess you can come stay with me. So he moves in with Rust for a little bit. Rust becomes his roommate, his only savior, frankly, his life vest in this time where he's drowning. And he is also like the medium between him and Maggie, between Marty and Maggie. And he gets a lead on, well, finally it gets Marty to fucking show up and do his job. And it's because Marty really didn't have any other choice other than to do this.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do? Drink yourself to death?
So
Yeah.
And it's like Russ is chomping at the bit, like, oh, now he's like me.
yeah,
He's like
Dude,
so excited.
This is my
thank
favorite
God.
fucking episode because when they live together, this is when you start to see, oh, they're actually friends.
yes,
Yeah.
they can
Even
be
though they're not
friends.
saying it, they're not acting like it. They are. Like, you see Marty in the mornings with one that comes to my mind, and he's staring at the quarter on the wall, and he's like, so how long do you do this for?
Yeah, what is that? Why does he do that?
He's like, no, he says it. He's like, it calms my mind when it focuses on one thing, and blah, blah, blah. That's how I wake up. And they're like making
couldn't
coffee,
afford a big
and
mirror.
I'm like, dude, this is
Small-
amazing.
he has a
The
mouse
boys
mirror.
are back. The boys are back.
So they get this, they have all that stuff, which is freaking great because they're kind of forced to break down all the walls in between each other. Marty is at his lowest. Russ knows it. Russ sees him at his lowest. Marty feels like, well, shit, I've already seen Rust my entire existence with him. He's been at his lowest. I fucking hate him. So
Yeah.
whatever. But it's like they're kind of like a married couple in the sense because it's like as much time as they spent with each other and they
Yeah.
bicker and fight and shit, they care about each other. They do want the other one to be there for them because they're the only people that each other has.
Yeah.
They
and
really don't have any other choice.
and he's the only person Marty is honest with.
Yes. That's it.
And it's amazing to see because then you see the real Marty when he's with Rust.
Yeah. And you're like, I like this guy.
I like him now when he's with Rust.
I kind of like this guy because he's not super full of shit all the time. So they catch a lead on the case, kind of, sort of. They find Reggie Ledoux, but they don't have Reggie Ledoux. They know, they get the name, but then they start wondering, all right, what the hell? So Marty actually finds that they have Reggie Ledoux as this name, but they say he only works for one, he only cooks, and he cooks for one group. He doesn't do it for like anybody. And
Doesn't Lang tell him this?
yeah, but Marty gets the info. It's not
From his, who's the guy he gets it from in that club?
damn. Who is it?
Yeah, because he was doing the beat,
Yes.
walking around.
That's when Marty actually starts.
It's like the first time you
No,
see,
that's when Marty goes and puts a gun in the guy's mouth that is the boyfriend of, he's the ugly ass motherfucker and he's a drug dealer at the
Yes.
strip club.
Yes.
And he tells he's at the bar, it's one of my favorite scenes. And he's at the bar
he's at the
and
bar.
he's trying to get information. The bartender's like,
Bartender's not giving him shit.
and he was like this, yeah, well, how about I put I forget what he says, some law
He said,
term,
you
and I'll have
really
this place
you really
shut
want to
down."
make me say this
Yeah,
shit?
why do you make me say this shit?
Yeah.
And so then he goes and talks to one of the strippers in the back and is like, all right, when's the last time you've seen him? Well, he doesn't come around here. I don't want to see him. He goes here. And so then Marty tracks him down, finds him, goes out in the back alley, does pull the gun on him.
Mhm.
And then that's when you're like, fucking thank you, Marty, for
Yeah.
showing the fuck up, dude. And this is like, and this is a trope that you really, I think it depends on what your experience is with police, but it's when the cop goes beyond the law in
Mhm.
order to do the right thing.
The right thing, yep.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love it so much because
He's
you're
a
like,
vigilante at that point.
exactly. You're a vigilante. Just because you have a badge, you can't do that shit, but you're doing it. And I like it because ultimately it's for the better good. And so he gets the name. He said, oh shit, that's all you wanted? Why don't you just say something? Okay, well, that's Reggie Ledoux. So he gets the name, and that's when they find out that, oh, wait, he was with the inmate that they've already talked to, Dora Lang's husband, ex-husband, I guess. And then so they're like, okay, there we go. Now we're connecting some dots here. And then he gets that name over to somebody else in a different department, and then they say, oh yeah, he only cooks for this one group. It's this gang, this biker gang out of Texas.
He gets that from the guy in the club.
He gets that from the guy in the club.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when he's got the gun pointed.
Yes.
And then that's
Iron
when
Crusaders or something.
Iron Crusaders.
Yep.
And that's when Russ is like, say that name again?
Yeah.
Did you say Iron Crusaders?
You're sure?
You're sure? Oh shit, I ran something when I was doing Narcos. I did
Yeah,
that.
in Texas.
And
I was
so
working for the cartels.
you got it. And so that's when you're like, well, yeah, dude. So he comes back, and that's when you're like, all right, what's he got? So then Russ opens up the trunk.
Yeah.
You see all the weapons. He's like, God damn, what you got in here, Russ? He said, well, never knew when any of these gangs were going to come back on me, because he had been out for a couple years now. As far as they were concerned, these narco biker gangs or whatever he was working, they thought he was dead. So he was like, well, you're going to like this jacket I got. And it's the fucking Iron Crusaders jacket.
Dude, this is my favorite scene. He goes, Marty says to him, are you sure you want to do this? And Russ is like,
Nope.
no. If it doesn't go well, I'm just gonna get a bullet in the head. And that's the best that could happen.
Yep.
You know
That's
what the
pretty-
cartels did to you? And Marty's like, what? And he's like, they took a razor blade and they took it right at the top of your scalp, down to your chin. And then they'd fold your face over with a mirror in front of you. So then you're looking at your face without all of its skin. And then they cut your balls off and put them in your mouth. And they choke you to death.
Yep.
And he's like,
Tape you to
Marty's
a
like-
chair that's bolted to the floor.
Yeah.
Use a couple rolls so you can't budge.
Yep.
yeah.
Dude, that monologue, when I first watched it in high school, that scared me more than anything.
Mm.
That happened.
And then you're like, okay, so this is what he's about to do. This guy's a fucking savage. And then he's in the kitchen. He's doing the cayenne and water into it. And he's like, they're not going to trust me if I don't have track marks.
He's got to have the track marks. He's got to look like, and got to come up with a quick story as to what the fuck he's been up to. And you also find out that it gets like kind of dropped, like hints get kind of dropped in a couple episodes prior that he's used in the past. He's had to. Now you get to see it firsthand. That Rust is like, no, I mean, if you're in deep the way that I've been in deep, you got to fucking go all in. You got to do it. And that means you're going to have drugs and you got to use them. And so you get to the biker gang. He walks right the fuck in. He looks the part. He goes right through the back, goes through the secret back door. This might have been the most produced of the episodes, maybe. And you get to see his little interaction with Crash, talking about Miles. We're like, who the fuck is Miles? His character is Crash now. That's how the gang knows him as. And he wants in on whatever the hell they got going on in the gang so that he can get more info on where the hell Ledoux is. He said, well, so he tries to, him and Marty steal cocaine from evidence.
Well,
Rust
just him.
does.
Yeah.
Just Rust. Marty
Rust.
doesn't know about it.
And takes that as a means, some kind of bargain chip to swap for the meth because he's got to get to this cook.
Trade Coke for Crystal.
You got to get to the cook. If he can get to the cook, Ledoux, you can find out what the fuck's going on with this case. We meet Ginger. Ginger's an interesting character. You get to see nervous Marty show up like a fucking 45-year-old dad. Might as well show up with New Balances on.
I know.
What's with his
dude.
hats, dude?
I
He wears hats
know.
2 times in the show, and they're like the worst hat you could ever
Worst
pick.
hat I've ever seen.
He's like like a schoolboy. in a hat.
Yeah.
He shows up in this, and I'm like,
He
what
does
the
an
fuck is
alright
he
job
doing?
just to get eyes on Rust.
Yeah.
He's like, my friend, I'm afraid he's gonna drink again. It's been 20 years.
I'm
like,
his
"Get the
sponsor.
fuck outta here."
Like it's not a bad cover.
Yeah.
It's not a bad cover at all.
And he looks in the New Balances like he looks legit, like he would be that guy.
Yeah.
Right. So like, not bad, but also I'm like, damn, he couldn't have done anything else to kind of like blend in a little bit further. But that's not his scene, man. He's not in this. Like, he's never been in a biker gang that we know of. He's just like a regular fucking dude with a big ass dick.
No password.
He just looks him up and down and goes, yeah, no fucking way you're getting in here, buddy. I'm just looking for a friend.
Dude, the other thing you notice with Rust is that before he gets all hyped up, he's doing the cayenne, he starts drinking the bottle because he wants to look like he, not just fake, but he has been drinking. He's got the sunken eyes and they're dark and his
And he
face
starts
is like that.
doing lines too.
His character has always looked weathered, no matter how young he is.
Yeah.
He's always got that kind of edginess, that danger about him, which makes him believable as undercover.
Yeah. He didn't look like Timothy Chalamet.
No. But this episode leads to one of the coolest filming scenes that has taken place. So they do this whole track shot thing. So anyways, before they get to that, we get Ginger taking Crash out to his little fucking bayou boat, the fan boat. They go around to his secret hideout, starts talking to him there. He's doing more drugs there with him. Make sure he's cool. Then they starts hearing this noise. And what the hell is that? They got some dude. Hey, they got some dude in a closet.
Honky ass motherfucker.
And he's like, what's going on here, man? And they're like, oh, that's just some N-word. He's head of the projects over here. He's got
bungalows.
Knows where the stash house is. We're going to go ahead and get that. So Ginger's like, you want to see if I can get you that meeting with Miles or whoever,
Miles,
then you got to do this for me. And I need Crash tonight. I need a gunslinger. I don't need nobody else. I had one man down. We need to do this 4-man team. You're going to like what we got. They come in there with freaking fake cop suits. And their whole plan is, we're just going to go into this stash house. We're going to F some people up a little bit, take the money, roll out of there. But we have the cop uniform, so that should do.
Cop uniforms with super long beards.
Yeah,
and
that's
long
what I
hair.
hated. Like,
No
obviously.
one's gonna know right away. Like, cops aren't even allowed to have beards like that.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, now they are, but
So
Not that long.
not that long.
Or hair.
Yeah.
it goes into this whole, and so Cole is like, so anyway, have you guys like thought about like exit plan? It's I know that project is one way in, one way out. Like, and they're like, he's like, okay, cool. So you thought about it.
Yeah. Okay, dude, that's what I love. That he's like, yeah, okay, you guys are thinkers.
You got, all right, good, great.
Good.
So
Okay.
before he and Marty part, before he gets into this party, he gives Marty this phone. He says, hold this phone, green to answer, red to hang up. I'm the only person that's calling it. It's only me. When I call you, I need you to pick the fuck up and do exactly what I say. To Marty's credit, he does. Now, I thought about it. I'm like, damn, wouldn't it have been fucking hard to figure out where the hell is that boat going?
Well, yeah.
Buddy, how the hell do you know where to go?
Yeah.
But apparently he does. He starts following, he starts driving. I don't know how he does, but
Maybe a plot hole.
that's a plot hole.
Because
for me,
even
dude.
when he does get to the project, he's like, meet me on this street. How does he know what street to tell him to go to?
How does he know to get to the project?
I don't
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if there was GPS on the phone. Maybe that was it. Maybe as a sat phone or something like that. I have no idea. But that's my like lone plot hole. I don't know how the hell Marty caught up with him, but he does. But the way that they shot the project segment of this episode is so fucking cool. It's one take going through. I kind of had to do like choreography for the, fight scene stuff, and he had to work with guys like, all right, how would Rust fight this? He can't fight like some military guy. He's got to fight like a regular dude, but somebody that's like a dangerous regular dude, not like a, fucking assassin. He's not Liam Neeson and Taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the whole way that they shot that, it was great. The premise is like, Jesus. And it's basically starts this freaking riot war in the projects. I think it's the only time anything's ever been filmed in that project. We did just do a Training Day episode where that was the only time something was filmed in that project.
Yeah, the jungle.
So I might be confusing this with the jungle, but I don't think I am. I think both of them is the only time anything's ever been filmed there. But one track shot, super unique how they did it. Very interesting premise. I haven't seen that done on television or movies before. Guys sneaking in like they're cops into a stash house to try and rob it. Just kind of wild. Thoughts on the episode?
I think maybe they could have come up with a better plan than that. Like maybe just track down Ginger when he's not in a biker bar. Just like trail him so you don't have to go through this most stressful thing of all time. It goes
Or
to show that
kidnap him.
Russ is about that life. Like
He really does operate like he has nothing to lose. Why not? But and I think that's part of what makes his character really compelling. But he also, when he does this, I think he does it with the mindset of, well, this is what I got to do to gain his trust to get the info that we need for the case. I'll do it. But then it goes wrong real quick. And he's like, you can just see the disappointment on his face. Like, these fucking idiots.
Yeah.
God damn it. They are stupid. Now I got to figure out another way to get out of this. And then he eventually, like pretty quickly after that, turns on Ginger because Ginger's just a dumbass biker gang idiot, not some fucking criminal mastermind who is a savvy, martial artist. And so he busts him up real quick and then just starts dragging him around the place and dragging him around project to like building to building, hiding behind shit. He gets attacked a couple of times by guys with bats, and Crash finds a way out of that, beats their ass, sneaks through. Cops come through, doesn't matter. He's hiding at the right moments, at the right time, hopping the right fences, going behind the right buildings. And Marty, to his credit, somehow, some way, shows up and finds him. And I thought it was so fun that to watch those two working together, those two in a high adrenaline situation. It's not the case. It's totally separate from the case. because it was this whole thing with fucking Crash, and you get to see McConaughey be violent for the first time. You saw him a little bit in maybe episode 2 when they're trying to find the church and where the church is, and he busts up the dudes in the mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Well, and you know he's got some martial arts skill because when Marty puts him up against the locker, he does the
Yep.
"It ain't worth losing your hands over."
That's right. So you know he's got some skill.
Yeah.
You know he's not afraid to do the stuff, but to see him in action, it's just chef's kiss. Love it. But when he just eventually in the back seat, when he's hustled out of there, Marty is booking it, and he's in the back seat with Ginger, and he's sitting there asking Ginger questions, and Ginger's like, "Oh, Miles is gonna kill you. I'm gonna get something for you, Crazy." I have fucking had enough of this, and just starts. He said, I don't even know why I'm treating you like a human.
He says, "I'm sick of talking to you like a man.
Like that's it.
I'm
That's
so
it.
sick of talking to you like a man."
Sick of it.
Bah,
Boom,
bah.
boom, boom, and just whips his ass. And then he shows up shortly thereafter, and we get DeWall, who is Ledoux's cook partner.
Are they also brothers?
Also a giant fat fuck.
Yeah, what the heck?
And
Why are
there's
they
a
all
lot-
6'8"?
Lot of swamp monsters.
Deepest
Dude.
voice ever, dude. He was scary at the bar.
I could see your soul at the edge of your eyes.
That's it. Dude, he goes into that.
It's
And I'm like,
corrosive.
It's corrosive.
how does he know? How can he see this? Well, you get him. Well, I guess maybe episode 5, we dive into a little bit deeper. So hold on to that thought. But you get introduced to DeWall, who you're like, hey, this dude's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy, bro.
Creepy.
I don't like this. I don't like this guy's what. And he's also on to us. He's on to Rust. And is like, I don't know you. Why the hell am I talking to you? Ginger, you've been awful quiet. And he starts saying the weird shit about the eyes and corrosiveness and all that stuff. And you're like, damn it. He really does know something is up here. I don't
Yeah.
like that because he's supposed to be a dumb hick.
Yep.
And if he is onto us, then we are shit out of luck. We're just never
Yeah.
going to find Ledoux. And then fast forward. I can't remember what happens right after
Rust,
that.
Marty follows
trailing.
him from the bar.
That's right. Marty follows him from the bar. He's like, Marty, you got him? And they start going off into this more rural spot. So then Russ is like, all right, well, don't get too fucking close to him because
Yeah.
if it gets too rural, it's going to be obvious you just get a tail. So then he follows him to a point,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I think they find the
And
meth.
then he loses him. He said, I had to go back and forth here 7 or 8 times. And then I found him, and the car was covered
Mhm.
with like a ghillie suit.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And how does the episode end?
Is that when they show the scene, the quick shot of Ledoux
Oh, that's
Yeah.
when they
with the
show
mask on?
Ledoux with that weird mask
Every dream
on.
ends with a monster. or something
That's
like that.
right. They show Ledoux with the mask on and his jockstrap and big old dick swinging around.
Yeah. Big old dude.
God damn, these swamp monsters are packing some heat.
Dude, and this is the
Dick's
one episode
corrosive.
where there's one bad shot where it's Rust in his car and they do the classic shitty green screen behind the windshield and he's like driving like this. Like, dude,
Yes.
he's not driving right now. He's in a studio somewhere. But other than that, everything is shot amazingly.
That's it. All right. That's it for episode 4. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the rest of the season. Well, that's a wrap for part 2 of our 4-part series on True Detective Season 1. In part 3, everything fractures. The partnership, the case, and the illusion that this story is finished. And that's where the suspicion, the tension, and the long game really take over. So stay tuned for part 3. And as always, if you love it, go ahead and do us a favor. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit the bell. You know what to do, people. We love you. See you on part 3.